Before we get into the reveal today, I do need to talk about a update that a JMod has given clarifying something, because this is a nerf to range and might change your strategy while training. So last league, there was a 90% ammunition and charges saved, and under the charges category, it included Chinchompas. This year, a JMod on the Discord said that Chinchompas are not saved. Now, I'm just going to say, take that they are correct. There's always a chance that they forgot and they have it wrong, but that is a difference from last league, and when it was mentioned in the Discord, there were many people who had assumed it would be included because it was last league. So if that was your plan, to rush Chinchompas, maybe you were going Canterin, or Wilderness. Maybe you were going to go Wilderness because you're going to need those black chins anyway. You're taking Animal Wrangler, and you thought, oh, I'll have a bunch of AoE ranging to train with. It appears that that's not actually going to be saved. And remember, you're going to be attacking with Chinchompas on 2 ticks, so you are going to blow through them very quickly. Just make that clear for everyone. I know so many people are going range this league. Let's get into what we have here. So the league's XP multiplier is 5x from the start. Items from eligible sources will be 2 times as common, and you'll see blue here. Farming ticks will occur every minute instead of every 5 minutes. So, farming is going to be 5 times faster from the start. This is interesting. So, what this means is, if you take the farming relic, you're going to get 50 mil farming experience, I have to imagine, very quickly. Maybe this is enough for you to say that you aren't going to take the farming relic because you can spam farm whenever you want to get up to that 99. Later on, when you have seeds and the compost and things to have the plants protected and all of that. So maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe that changes up your farming plans. I'm going to say, for me, I was thinking about the farming relic because I hate farming, but I could possibly just force grind it out pretty quick later on once I have a bunch of seeds, so I'm up in the air on whether I'm going to take that or the DPS from Grimoire. Grimoire also has a really nice teleport. If you're in the wilderness, it has a home teleport that'll take, or a respawn teleport that can take you back to the Ferox Enclave, which will take you right next to the pool. So that's pretty nice. Minigame points received are boosted by 4x. So right off the bat, you can do boosted minigames. Now, to be clear, this will not include Wintertod. This will not include Temperos. These are going to be things like Soul Wars. These are going to be things like Pest Control. And I do plan to double check the FAQ at the end. Soul Wars and Pest Control do not grant experience. But if you are going to be taking Asgarnia and you're going range, you're going to want to have the armor from Pest Control, because that is going to be best in slot for a while. I think it might just be best in slot for damage. It's better than Missouri. With that being said, that also means Soul Wars is going to be 4 times boosted at the start. You might be thinking, what's the point of Soul Wars if I don't get experience? You're talking supply crates with a bunch of ammunition, ranged ammunition if you need it, runes, pure essence. There's a lot, actually, you might want from Soul Wars. There's probably going to be some points behind Soul Wars, so consider it. Run energy is never drained while running, we knew that, and all clue scrolls will drop as stackable scroll boxes, and clue step progress is saved between clues. So that's old as well. League's XP multiplier is increased from 5 to 8 at Tier 2, and at Tier 3 we have another blue, because this is very important. Combat experience, including hit points and prayer, has a 2x multiplier multiplicative with other multipliers. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that, let's say you have this 8, you're going to have 8x multiplier from the last tier. When you hit Tier 3, so this is going to be, I'm trying to remember, is this the moment you get your speed increase? This is now telling you, listen, now that you're attacking faster, you're going to get 16x combat experience. So that means you can get really quick prayer. I wouldn't touch prayer probably until Tier 3, because you're getting double. That's really good. Now, if you're taking Golden God, this is kind of a negative, right? Because if you're taking Golden God, yeah, you get a lot of more magic experience, right? You're going to get 16 times High Alch every time it High Alchs automatically, and you're going to get a ton of prayer. But do you need to have Golden God for Prayer when you're looking at double, because this is going to double from here on out. So anytime you see a League's multiplier, it's going to be doubling that for your prayer. I don't think anyone actually needs Golden God, except maybe if you're going for that 200 mil meme rush, get to the top of the leaderboards, which I think is something that might be fun to do for someone. Maybe I'll make an ult. Slayer points are 5x from tasks, and you aren't required to complete 5 tasks before earning points. Slayer superior rates are increased to 1 out of 50 chance to appear. Okay. That's by the way, if you're going wilderness, you might be new to the wilderness. If you're going wilderness and you get these superiors, they are a guaranteed Laren's key. So that means you'll get access to the Laren's key chest, which will have pure essence and things like that. Dragon dart tips, dragon arrow tips, a lot of really good stuff. Putting that out there for anyone new to the wilderness, that this is actually really good for you. You're going to want those keys, and it's going to make it so you don't have to spend time at Soul Wars for things like pure essence. Items from eligible sources will be 5 times as common, so we're up to 5 times X multiplier just at tier 4, and the minigame points boost are now up to 8. So if you're wanting to do Soul Wars for those chests, it's an 8x boost, but you're not getting that until tier 4, so probably wait until then. And at this point, once you hit tier 4, there's no reason, if you want, you can't go and farm out whatever items you need. I'm going wilderness, for example, so a lot of this will be wilderness based. But for me, I can go do Revenants as soon as I get to tier 4 if I want, and have the max boost for being able to possibly get my Rev weapon drops. And then we have the minigame multiplier at the bottom, some updates here. Marks of Grace, Hallowed Marks, Brimhaven vouchers, and Stardust will now benefit from the minigame multiplier. Now, to be clear, Brimhaven vouchers, these are not the experience vouchers. These are for the trade-in for items, so do not get that confused. Tier 5. League's XP multiplier has increased from 8x to 12x. This is 24x for your combat. So if you wanted to wait a little longer to really grind out maybe your alt styles, we're getting better here. And also, these drop rates modifiers at the bottom, these are just always like this, but I'm reading them as I scroll across. Twisted Ancestral Color Kits, Holy Ornament Kits, Sanguine Ornament Kits, and Awakener's Orbs now benefit from the drop rate modifier. So the Awakener's Orbs, I'm assuming that the drop rate multiplier, by having it early like this, it's going to allow you to have a higher chance of getting that orb to then fight the Echo Boss, and then have a higher chance for your Echo Boss to drop your Echo item. I assume that is the main reason it's all pushed forward a little bit this time. And then we get to tier 7. There's nothing at tier 6. League's XP multipliers increase from 12x to 16x. And so I'm assuming maybe tier 6 is really good relics, and or maybe that's our combat tier. But I can see the combat tier being at the very end. A lot of people would hate that. But at the end of the day, why not put combat at the end if we have masteries? Also, this is only going up to tier 7. That doesn't mean that we couldn't theoretically have tier 8, 9, 10, 69. Because maybe they just don't have more passives like this, and that would still be a surprise. That would still be a shock later on. Let's continue. Every clue scroll you receive, including the clue geodes, clues in a bottle, and clue nests, will drop as a stackable clue box. So, if I'm understanding this right, so if you didn't play last league, when I would go fishing, because I did a lot of fishing, even though I didn't take the fishing bonuses, I took trickster stuff. I did fishing because I was getting food. When you would fish, you would get clue scrolls. You would get clue bottles. And as you can see, those bottles would show up as a bottle, and they were non-stackable. So you could AFK and end up with a ton of bottles in your inventory, and it was annoying because if I wasn't automatically banking them, so I would have to like open them to like then have them stack. It was a pain. Well, now they're just going to auto stack. So what that means is if you're talking 25-minute AFK fishing spots, that could be crumblons or it could be the dart crabs. You really those will auto stack the clues. So that's not an issue. So this means that if you take the herb option, if you take the herb relic, you could basically, whenever you would click every 25 minutes, you should be able to just um, empty your pouch of everything, and that would just guarantee you maximum AFK time because it would note all the herbs to your inventory. And then your clue scrolls are all getting stacked. You should have plenty of room, I think, in your inventory to then just keep fishing, and you'd never have to actually bank due to clues or due to herbs. That's just nice because there's a world where if you were doing that, you were trying. Let's say you had like you were at work or something, or you're working from home, and you have that you're doing 25-minute fishing because that's what you can do while you work. You can take like a stretch or a minute or touch it. That periodically you would have to go and manually click all of those individual bottles, or you would stop fishing after like 5 minutes or something like that. This would prevent it. So that's just kind of a nice little perk I thought of with my experience of going, playing the leagues. Now, with that being said, I'm going to double check the FAQ because you never know what's going to be popped in. And there's a white. Um, oh, what I'm not going to go through right now. Right now, you can find it on the wiki. There's tasks. Sorry, my brain broke. There's a early task list. So if you're trying to plan early and medium tasks in the starter regions, they're listed. I believe we also have total points per region. So if you're wanting to like start planning out your regions, maybe you're going for the max task to get the top of the board. Maybe you want to plan out your day one. You can start doing that now. I'm probably not going to do a video on like where to go. Other people are way better at that. Double Shine does it. Because what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to plan out a route where I can start AFKing rather early on, even though it's kind of a waste because this league starts very early and I'm going to be barely awake at the start. So let's just double check all the passives. There is no passive for tier 6. XP rewards from Soul Wars and Pest Control will be disabled. I mentioned that earlier. Tithe farming does not receive the 5x farming ticks, so that sucks for them. Brimhaven vouchers boosted from the XP the minigame passive are used to buy the items, not the XP. So again, that's just repeated. Also, I think I mentioned this already. Do not get confused. If it's a skilling boss, you're not going to get the minigame multiplier on it. So I love Temperos. That's the thing I like to do. You're not going to get a boost for your Temperos pools. That would be amazing, and it would make getting the pet a lot easier. It's not going to happen. So I will also say that if you're trying to get a hold of the Soul Wars pet for whatever reason, maybe grind that early-ish if you can find a world, like tier 4, if you don't want to have like alts or whatever you need to do that. I know some people did that last league. Maybe grind that out at like tier 4 so that you can maximize your chances of getting points, because I feel like a few weeks in Soul Wars is going to be dead, except for maybe there might be one world of people that AFK it. That'd be pretty nice. But I feel like it lost a lot of its purpose without the experience. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your plans are. All this does to me is actually kind of make me want to start grinding earlier with like combat, which is kind of nice. What it also does is, to me, any feeling I had of maybe I just do take Golden God for the ease of it. Unless the other things in the tier are absolutely worthless, I can't imagine I would take it. Also, the farming change, I'm still torn because I could get to 99 farming and then completely ignore the farming grind from then on, but then I have a dead relic. Or I can, deal with the issue of having to do the farming manually, get to 99, and then still have the grimoire for all the for me it'd be one extra spell book and the extra prayers. The prayers are just a tiny bit of damage, but I guess it might matter. I'm not very good at PvP, so PVM, so we'll see. Kind of a mellow reveal today. Honestly, the biggest reveal to me was about the Chinchompas. I thought they would be included, and the fact that they're not is really sad. I had like a plan of training my range that would use them, but I will say that since that's now down the drain, I do have a plan that That same spot can be used for melee. That same spot can be used for magic, and I get that 32x multiplier. I'm feeling really good about that. I know a lot of people are now looking at that 32 multiplier, and they're planning to, if it's something you might consider, they're planning to get a bunch of Scurrious Spines and do that for their prayer and combat at 32x trade-in. I probably won't do that. I think we have a task for 25, and that's probably where I'll end unless you can completely AFK Scurrious. If I can AFK Scurrious on my build and like just sit in his room and let the rewards pile up early, I might do that.